stop it. Here,
100 people
let's watch a video on
are
it.
the U.S. Senate. They pass laws. They vote, and when a majority says yes, it passes. But these days, the Senate doesn't do that very often.
The Senate holding 2 votes, both failed.
It's completely dysfunctional.
4 versions.
It's been most famously used, by the way. You might be shocked to find out. Like, Bernie Sanders has used it in the past as well, famously, to oppose, I think, war, additional military spending, shit like that. But it's most famously been used by, you might have guessed it, white supremacists in the South to make sure that black people do not have equal representation. So that's literally like opposing civil rights and opposing proportional voter distribution, specifically, again, because you don't want black people to have any political power whatsoever in southern states, is literally the primary function or the historic function for why the filibuster has been effectively used in the Senate. That is literally what the fuck the filibuster has been there for. Obviously, other people have done that too. Bernie Sanders has used it for good reasons as well. There's plenty of people that have used it in the minority. It's one way that the minority has power, okay? And automatically, because of the unequal way that the Senate works, with Democrats getting 10 million more votes and still fucking losing to Republicans, losing Senate seats to Republicans ultimately because of the inequality that's built into the Senate, each state having 2 senators, making it so that like California has the same number of senators as like fucking 8 states combined. Because of that, Democrats know that they're most likely always going to be in the minority party in the Senate, and therefore they want to have this weapon that they can use to nuke really, really ridiculous bills that are going to be super fucking harmful. You see what I'm saying? And that's precisely why some Democrats are scared of nuking the filibuster, because that's what happened throughout the history with Harry Reid and with the Obama era obstructionist Republican Party led by Mitch McConnell, who refused to allow lower court appointments to occur under Obama, and implementing a new rule to destroy the filibuster when it came to lower court appointments, which the Republicans utilized and even expanded on, calling it the nuclear option when roles were reversed to appoint a Supreme Court justice. So, like, anytime you modify the filibuster, Republicans are going to use it. And also, they will modify the filibuster themselves if they need to. So, there is a counter to it. There is a fear of, like, there's a fear of what the Republicans may do when they have power. But having said that, Republicans will do this regardless. If they ever need to nuke the filibuster, they will nuke the filibuster. That's just how they do.
Of gun control proposals, and all 4 failed.
See, the Senate has this rule. It says before they vote, 60 people have to agree to have the vote. That means just 41 people, the minority, can entirely block a bill. This is called a filibuster. Early on, filibusters were rare. This is a chart of the number of times the Senate has had a vote to break a filibuster in the last 100.
Here's the thing. The American political parties had different geopolitical interests with respect to where they were, okay? A representative in the South, whether they were a Democrat or a Republican, had different geopolitical interests than a representative or a senator from a northern state, whether they were Democrat or Republican. In America now, unfortunately, or I guess fortunately, I don't know, probably unfortunately, as a consequence of our duopoly, have 2 perfectly polarized parties. So it doesn't fucking matter if you're in West Virginia. It doesn't fucking matter if you're in California. No matter where you are in the United States of America, if you're a Democrat, you can vote along party lines and not get fucking punished for it, because the real political difference between parties stems from urban environments versus suburban environments and rural areas. The real American difference is no longer just around the right to own slaves and how much you want to disproportionately target black people. You know, Jim Crow North wanted to disproportionately target black people a little less. Jim Crow South wanted to codify the disproportionate targeting of black people and make it legal to do it and enforce. So, you know, that difference, those geopolitical interests no longer exist in a similar capacity. And that's partially a consequence of the abolition of slavery. And that's partially a consequence of college education, urbanization, gentrification, diversity occurring naturally within urban environments as opposed to segregated suburban and also segregated rural environments. So this is the reason why. This is the fucking reason why the filibuster is a very powerful weapon now that reinforces the power that the minority party has in order to never comply with whoever is in power, because they will not get punished by it. You know what I mean? Conservatives in the South or conservatives in the North are not going to fucking turn around and be like, yeah, I'm really upset that, the Republicans are being obstructionist and not allowing us to get our stimmy checks. They don't give a fuck because they're too busy thinking about, putting their dicks inside of Mr. Potato Head's ass or something. Okay? I don't know what the fuck Republicans are thinking about lately, but, they're just like too focused on the transphobia that they want to do now that Oreo decided trans people are fucking valid. You know what I mean? They're like, oh, Dr. Seuss is being canceled. They don't give a fuck. They don't give a fuck about like actual issues that Republicans prevent them from getting. Yes, I dead named Mr. Potato Head. Fucking cancel me, bitch.
100 years. But in the last 50 years, they started to grow. And now, almost every big bill is filibustered. The US Senate is broken, and the filibuster broke it. But the Senate didn't always have this rule. In fact, it all kind of happened by accident. This is the Senate in 1805. It's much smaller than it is now, and the filibuster as we know it today doesn't exist yet.
Dems negotiate down the stimulus relief only to have no Republicans vote anyway? Exactly. Thank you for pointing this out, my friend. This is what I've been screaming about for fucking months now. Democrats literally fucking argued amongst themselves, not even utilizing this as an opportunity to say, look, Americans, you voted for us, and these fucking demons on the other side didn't even want you to get credits for small businesses, like tax credits for the American working class that you fucking desperately deserve, that we promised we would give you. That is a missed fucking opportunity. Democrats are so bad at what they fucking do, it blows my mind. And that is because they can get away with it. Why can they get away with it? Because there are permacucks who will always vote Democrat and cover for the Democratic Party and do everything they can to tell you you're a sexist, racist, homophobe for not voting for the woke girl bosses such as like Dianne Feinstein and Nancy Pelosi. Okay? And this, for some weird reason, literally goes on. Every 4 years, we totally forget about all the horrific actions the Democratic Party takes. And all of a sudden, we're like, yeah, I must want to murder fucking trans people and immigrant babies that the Democratic Party is locking up in cages too, by the way, as a matter of fact. But I want to murder them if I make an argument against Democrats in an election cycle, which never seemingly ends. So, like, it's so bad. It's so fucking bad. What are you supposed to do? Vote Republican? Of course not. There is no alternative. That is the worst part about this process, is that, as I will freely admit, there is no alternative. What are you going to do? Vote for the fucking Republicans? Why? Because they're honest about their brutality in comparison to the Democrats who are dishonest about it and act like they fucking care and virtue signal, whereas Republicans are just like, eat shit and die. We don't give a fuck. One day you will be rich if you believe the prosperity Bible or the prosperity gospel. You know what I mean?
And before they vote on a bill, they debate. If they want to end debate and vote, they just need a majority to agree. But Vice President Aaron Burr thinks a high-minded place like the Senate should have as much debate as needed. So the Senate gets rid of the rule. Now senators can debate for as long as they want, and there's no way to stop them. This is the beginning of the Senate filibuster. At first, it isn't really a problem. Because the Senate is still pretty small, there's only so long a group of senators can physically talk. Eventually they tire out, debate ends, and they get to a vote. But as the US grows, so does the Senate, and they have more factions and more people to filibuster bills. They move to a bigger room, and now it's 1917. World War I is underway, but the US isn't involved. Then President Woodrow Wilson asks Congress to authorize a
President Woodrow Wilson says, why don't we all filibustering some bitches?
broad military action. A group of senators don't want to give Wilson the power to enter the war. So they decide to debate until the session ends. Filibuster. Woodrow Wilson is mad, and he demands that they go back to the old Senate rules. The debate can be ended with a simple majority. The Senate doesn't want to do that, so instead they compromise. They change the rules so they can end debate with the approval of 2/3 of the Senate, so that if senators want to block a bill, they need a third to do it. This is basically the system we have today. A supermajority to agree to vote, then a simple majority to pass a law. And for a few decades, the filibuster is used, but pretty sparingly. Then in the 1950s, the Senate starts to consider civil rights legislation, and Southern senators really hate this. But they don't have the votes to actually defeat the bills, so they start using the filibuster to block bills. Here's South Carolina Senator Strom Thurmond. He looks tired because he just filibustered the 1957 Civil Rights Act for more than 24 hours. These filibusters are painstaking, and they block the Senate from actually doing work. The majority leader at the time, Mike Mansfield, doesn't like this. He's okay with needing a supermajority to pass things. What he doesn't like are these long, pointless speeches. So he makes a change. He skips the debate and goes directly to a vote to see if there's a supermajority to end debate. This means if senators want to filibuster, they don't have to stand up and talk. They can just threaten to, as long as they have the numbers to block a supermajority vote. This makes it way easier to filibuster. And the number of filibusters grows. In the mid-70s, the Senate changes the threshold needed to filibuster. Now instead of 34 senators, you need 41, but it doesn't make much of a difference. And then around the 2000s, senators in the minority start to realize something. They can gain more politically by fighting than by...
Exactly. Once, and this is what I mean when I say, like, there was a heel turn that got solidified within the ranks of the Republican Party under Mitch McConnell. It started in the early 2000 era, but that heel turn of obstructionism became permanent under the Mitch McConnell rule. This is precisely what I've said over and over again, where senators recognize that when they are in the minority position, literally just obstruct. You will not be politically punished for obstruction because it makes whoever is in power look bad. That is metagaming. Okay? Senators are fucking metagaming. Mitch McConnell, sir, you are metagaming. Please see yourself out of the halls of the Senate, sir. Okay? They literally started gaming the fucking system by just never, ever getting any legislation done. Automatically, whoever's in power looks bad because everybody hates a gridlock Congress. Now, there are certain things you can do to avoid that, like a budget reconciliation bill, right? Like a budget reconciliation that you can pass with just a simple majority. Now, what you can do is exactly what the Republicans do, which is pass it on with a budget reconciliation, no matter what the fuck happens, right? You can change the rules. You can push it. You can spear dick it through Congress, like Republicans always do whenever they want to fucking pass legislation, no matter how ridiculous it is. But Democrats have to act like they give a single shit about the processes or due process when they don't. They don't actually care. They just care about like only furthering the progressive agenda as far as it is lip service, and never truly changing the material conditions of the American working class, because that would imply making changes that ultimately end up harming their real benefactors, the corporations and the wealthy.
By cooperating. So they filibuster everything the other party wants to.
Oh, sorry. The last thing I was going to say is, and this is the inherent irony of Democrats constantly talking about, oh, the processes. We must bring back respect to the institutions. Well, the inherent irony is, because of all of your fucking jurisprudence fetishism, and because of your love and in upholding these institutional legitimacy, you end up literally letting people who do not give a fuck about the institutions crumble the institutions themselves. So if you want to defend the legitimacy of these institutions, sometimes you have to fucking play dirty. Sometimes you have to play around the rules. And Republicans do it all the time. And that's how they end up fucking destroying the institutions. So if you want to defend the institutions, you have to play a little dirty, like the Republicans do. Okay? That's it. That's fucking it. Yes, Republicans are power gaming. For the no pixel frogs, let me describe it in a way that you will understand. Republicans are power gaming, okay? They game the system, they metagame, and they power game at the same time. They're constantly doing no value life. They're constantly fucking power gaming, and they are using an exploit mechanic by the name of a filibuster, okay? Over and over again, and it's super fucking fail RP. What did Trainwreck say in his subscription, in his resub notification? Where the fuck is my mod? We made a trade, Hasi. You can't fucking ban people. I'll mod you right now. You can't ban people, Train. Here you go. Uh-oh. He's gonna ban all of you boys. Watch out. Watch out. The CIA's here, boys. Anyway. So, let's keep going.
To do. That's what leads to this spike. Now, almost every big bill is filibustered. Finally, in 2013, the Democratic majority makes a change to the rules that says the filibuster no longer applies to certain confirmation votes.
Yeah.
In 2017, the Republican majority makes another...
They had to do this. The Democrats had to do this because, like... Democrats had to do this because Republicans were just literally not letting them do a proper government function, right? Like, the proper government function is supposed to be allowing, appointing fucking, making court appointments, right? Making fucking court appointments. And Republicans were just like, no, we're not going to do it. Like, oh my God, Train is moderating even himself. He deleted his own message. What the fuck? How is he doing this? Message yelled at by Train for 2 hours. The filibuster only hamstrings the Dems' agenda. Anything Republicans want, like judges and tax cuts, can be done through reconciliation or 50 votes. Exactly. Isn't that great? That Republicans can... Republican agenda is about smaller government and therefore starving the beast and therefore crumbling government and therefore can be done with a simple majority vote. Whereas the Democratic agenda requires progressive legislation, if they truly care about progressive legislation, that is. And that, suspiciously, will always require a filibuster-proof majority. Okay. By the way, it is, before I finish this video, it's top of the hour every hour. It's time for a 6-second ad break. Boys, the first ad break of the day. You already know what it is. You no longer want to see the ads. You can subscribe. You can do it for $5, or you can do it for free with your Twitch Prime by connecting your Amazon Prime account to your Twitch account. You get 1 free Twitch Prime. Use it on me. Do not use it on Trainwrecks. That motherfucker is getting all the Twitch Primes. Use it on me instead. I hope he's still in here and he heard me say that. Here's the ad. Okay, I'll wait a little bit. You know that some people like me who live in North Africa can't see your goddamn ads? Yeah, no, I know. Yeah, I always talk about how you can avoid ads. You can use fucking, you can use ad blockers, which will cuck you down the line because Twitch is constantly fucking changing their ad blockers, basically. You can use VPN to make it seem like you're watching from fucking Turkey or a multitude of different places around the world where you don't get ads. Like, or you can literally just live in one of these countries where you won't get served an ad because Twitch is not really selling ads to the Turkish fucking audience. Or, like I said, you could just fucking subscribe, bitch. I just wrote to excuse moderator support. I was very friendly, and then suddenly the moderator closed the thread and called me, and I quote, "Piece of shit. Want to talk about this with me?" No. Why would I do that? Speaking of XQC, actually, here, I'll finish this video in a second. Speaking of XQC, he's had some pretty fucking good takes recently, despite the fact that I'm still upset at him for being a fucking gigantic shitlord. Credit where credit is due. He's had some decent takes on this recent stuff that's going on that I saw on LSF. I am still very much upset at him for fucking literally losing his mind over a video game and behaving the way that he did. But anyway, we'll do LSF later. We'll look at LSF later. SSB scared him straight? No, I don't care about that.
Another similar change. Both times, it feels like a huge deal. But now, things are beginning to change. The 2020 elections are coming up, and Democrats have some big proposals.
Healthcare in America.
Federal investment in teachers' salaries.
Investments in clean energy.
But
disgusting, guys, disgusting things like investments in clean energy and increasing federal teacher salaries. What is this, communism? Thank God for the filibuster so that, you know, the Republicans can fucking destroy these horrific pieces of legislation that would genuinely ruin this country by implementing communist Sharia law immediately.
Democrats know even if they have a majority in the Senate, they're not going to get the 60 votes needed to overcome a filibuster. And that's why a new idea is now on the table.
Would you urge the Senate Democratic leader to get rid of the filibuster?
I think we have to have that on the table.
To get rid of the filibuster.
Why is Devin Nash working for Pod Save America? What the fuck? I did not know that Devin Nash literally was an Obama-era speechwriter, like an Obama speechwriter who is also one of the Pod Save America hosts. That's crazy.
The filibuster?
I think we have to have that on the table.
To get rid of the filibuster.
Get rid of the filibuster.
Getting rid of an old tradition naturally feels radical. But here's one more story about the filibuster. The Senate is only one
Someone said, that's Dan Pfeiffer, dumbass. Oh, is it? Thanks, brother.
half of Congress. The other half, the House of Representatives, also used to have rules that allow the minority party to filibuster bills. Then, in 1888, Republicans won control of the House, but the filibuster rules kept them from actually passing anything. It was like the election and ultimately the will of the people didn't even matter. So, they got rid of it. And the reasoning was pretty simple. If the party that loses an election can block the winners from doing anything, what does it mean to be a democracy?
Yes, I am a based Senate abolitionist, as a matter of fact, and an advocate for the tyranny of majority. I'm a based Senate abolitionist and an advocate for the tyranny of the majority, because I recognize that the alternative to tyranny of majority is tyranny of minority, which is currently what we have, which is a based democracy defender, okay? Ultimately, if you nerf the Senate, then that's fine. You know what I'm saying? Like, I will still have this like weird fucking Senate process as long as you nerf it. And this shit is ridiculous. It's fucking ridiculous. Why do we have institutions that literally benefit Republicans no matter what? It always will benefit Republicans, especially with the way that that votes are distributed in this country, okay? Like, a singular voter has so much more power within the Electoral College if they live in like a red rural area versus all of the Democratic voters that congregate in areas like big cities and shit. You're live and your Twitter is active. Come clean us on. Who are you paying to run your Twitter? Yes, I'm paying someone to like sexy photos of girls on the internet, dude. No, it's all just on my other screen. I'm browsing Twitter to find other stories that I wanted to show you. And when I sometimes see, you know, hot girls that post, you know, photos of themselves, I like it too, which is why people make fun of me all the time and say you're horny on your main.